everyone. This is your 2019 Brazilian Formula One Grand Prix wrap presented by Fox Blockhead. That's right, the Brazilian Formula One Grand Prix from a fantasy perspective. Here are the top three. We got Max Verstappen on 44 points. We've got Pierre Gasly on 37 and Kimi Raikkonen coming in at 34 points by virtue of his qualifying position and his finishing position combined points. Look at that. Look at that. Almost as good as the actual grid as it finished. Alfa Romeo. Oh my goodness, the top team out of all of this. How nuts is that? And Bottas for Mercedes getting that bonus 5. Didn't actually get the point for the fastest lap because he didn't finish top 10, but still plus 5 for his race bonus. Because this is fantasy, this is an actual thing. And I just realised Pierre Gasly's label there says Red Bull. It's not, it's Toro Rosso, which makes that even more incredible. Not a 1-2 for Red Bull, that's Toro Rosso. My bad. Okay, fantasy result for Brazil. There are the rest of the results. Hamilton, Perez just being beaten out by Raikkonen there. 30 points each with Ricciardo, Sainz, Giovinazzi, Russell and Kvyat rounding out the top 10. Good results all around. Norris, best of the bottom 10 on the right hand side there. Vettel, a bit disappointing for him, bumping into Leclerc close to the end of that race and not doing so good. Bottas having, I think it was an engine explode, oil pressure bumped up or something like that. Grosjean, that Haas driver, oh my goodness, after that USA result everyone thought maybe Haas could do it. And Albon, poor fella, got turned around in line for a podium. Anyway, let's move on. Constructors looked like this. Lots of high value constructors. Toro Rosso with the best value just over Alpha. If you had either of those, you would have been collecting some good points this weekend. If you had Ferrari, which I had, down at the other end, Haas again, -2. Alright, here's the dream team. If you had this team right here, Verstappen, Gasly, Raikkonen, Hamilton, Perez, and Alpha, you would have got the best score of this weekend, 262, 95.4 million. That is, of course, unless you had a team from earlier in the season with a better value that gradually got better as the season wore on. You can potentially have a team value over 100 million. As soon as you make changes, reverts back to current pricing. So that's the dream team. The dud team looks like this, with Albon and Bottas making it in there. What is going on with those two making it in there? With Albon, the turbo driver that a lot of people would have had because he is the best driver in this second half of the season. 0. So between 0 and 262, that's where people are aiming this weekend. So many people would have got close to that 100 mark. So many people because of Albon. The dream studs, Bottas not increasing his league but can't be beaten. Leclerc there, Kvyat, Hamilton, Perez on 7, Sainz on 6. Mercedes, the best team over the course of the season. We've got 20 races. Bottas, 13 out of 20. He's a stud. The duds, Grosjean, even worse than Bottas is good. 14 times in the dud team. Kubica, 12 times in the dud team. Poor fella, after all that he did to get back into Formula 1. But he did it. That's the thing, isn't it, about Kubica? He did it. Giovinazzi, Magnussen, Norris and Ricciardo with 7 each. Haas with 8. Alpha with 5. They are the duds and studs. For the last race, we've got one more race to go. So this is what the bonus chance looks like. You can see over the final races, we've got Russia, Japan and Mexico. USA done and dusted. Hamilton and Bottas both got to Q3 on every occasion here. Up into Brazil, Hamilton did it. Bottas did it. Bonus 5 points each for those guys. Vettel, Leclerc, Albon and Gasly, they all got it as well. So, the UAE, the showdown for Vettel, Leclerc, Albon and Gasly. If they can get to Q3, bonus 5 points. Have a look at the race here though. We've got 4 races for Albon, Hamilton and Perez. Albon got turned around. Didn't finish top 10, so he is out. No bonus for him. Hamilton, he finished 3rd, but then 5-second penalty. Still top 10. Bonus for him. Perez, top 10 for him as well. So both of those guys got a bonus. Bottas, though, with his DNF. Leclerc with his DNF means no driver is up for a race bonus in the last race of the season. So the field, well, I guess you go for the qualifying bonuses, but the field is fairly well even for straight up points. Constructors' bonus chance looks like this. McLaren and Ferrari. McLaren didn't get into Q3 with both of their drivers. Ferrari did, though. So Ferrari gets a bonus 5. Mercedes did, as we just saw. Mercedes up for a 7th bonus. A 7th. Can you hit a 7th? The 7th time out of 21 races that they have had 3 races in a row. That means every single race, both Mercedes drivers have finished Q3. Now Bottas is going to start from the back of the grid. Hopefully he still gets to Q3, gets those bonuses, and then drops down in the starting order. But still, what an achievement by Mercedes. That's ridiculous. In the race, Renault, Red Bull, Mercedes were on 2, McLaren on 1. None of those teams ended up both of their drivers in the top 10. Red Bull had 1, Mercedes had 1, Renault had 1. No bonus. No bonus for those guys. McLaren did though. Sainz and Norris both finishing top 10, so they are up for a bonus come UAE. Mercedes qualifying, McLaren in the race. Not many races, not many teams, not many drivers, so it's fairly level pegging going into this last race for bonuses. The drivers' standings look like this. Hamilton, he's got the championship. Bottas, I think, technically can be overtaken by Verstappen. But it's out of those two for second place. Then we've got Leclerc, who can potentially be taken by Vettel, who could... No, both of those guys for fourth. Then we've got Gasly, Perez, Sainz, and Albon. No, actually, I think Gasly might be able to be caught by Perez, but then it's Perez, Sainz, and Albon for 7th place? 6th place. So there's a few things that could change in this last race. That would be very, very cool. They're the top 10 driver standings. The bottom 10 looks like this. Grosjean, I don't think he can get off the bottom. I think he finishes dead last. Kubica, I think he finishes second last. He might be able to pip Giovinazzi, but he has to have a stellar race. And the Williams just aren't doing very well this year at all. I don't know why that's funny. It's not funny. Few driver changes could happen there. Constructors' standings look like this. Mercedes by far and away the best team this season. Untouchable. Ferrari second. Red Bull third. I think that's all set in stone. McLaren and Racing Point for fourth. 1 point in it. That's crazy. Over the course of a season, they've got 1 point in fantasy standings. That's amazing. I love that. It's coming down to this, just like in the real race. Third place in the championship coming down to the last race. Then we have Toro Rosso, Renault. They could swap around depending on how we go. Alpha is in there, I guess. Then Williams and Haas. I wouldn't have picked them to be dead last this season. Moving on. Fantasy League placings now. Salma Hamilton. Haven't seen that name in a long time. 204 points. Look at that. Hamilton, Alpha, Gasly. Now, I'm guessing this is a team that's just sailing through a ghost ship, as we call them, from early in the season with Gasly, 39 points. Raikkonen was 62. But still, 204 points. Nothing to sneeze at. Well done, Salma Hamilton there. Second place looks like this with Mysterious Bright Mystery. That's Kevin with Hamilton. Renault, the team. The double on Albon. If that wasn't a double on Albon for the -2, man, that could have been a stellar performance. But still, Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Sainz, good combination right there. Steady, solid, good value as well. And then third place we have Salma Mercedes, with the Mercedes in there rather than Hamilton. Hulkenberg only got 1. Vettel only got 8, but then we got Giovinazzi up there, Sainz up there, double for Ricciardo, 127 points, and that was the third place in our league. That doesn't look good for everyone else. Let's have a look at the rest of the league. That's how we turned out. Follow the signs, 110 points for me. Blockheads with 106. Ma del Misteri, 120, just missing out on third place. But it looks like this. Now, I think still, again, a few changes could happen here. For third place, I think I'm up in... Kevin and I have 40 points difference. So that could change. What else have we got down there? 7th and 8th. I could climb my way off the bottom. I need 8 more points to get off the bottom. We'll see how that turns out, hey? So here are my teams. Follow the Signs in Brazil, 110 points. That's what it looks like. Going into the UAE, Abu Dhabi, no changes. I'm going to keep that team. I had to make 2 changes to do anything decent. So keeping that team for Follow the Signs. It's the Engine Blockheads that we have a look at here. 106 points, just below Follow the Signs for this weekend. But Bottas and Albon and Leclerc, that's just really unlucky. Having all 3 of those drivers get bumped out. If they all score well, well then McLaren probably doesn't, Perez probably doesn't. Anyway, if they score well, decent points. But anyway, moving into the UAE, the last race of the season. Did you see it? My change. I'm bringing in Verstappen for Leclerc. I'm pretty sure it's out of Verstappen Leclerc for 3rd place in the championship. I'm banking on Verstappen. I think he's going to do it. I think Leclerc and Ferrari are going to go back with their tail between their legs to the factory over the summer, work on their vehicle, get back into the championship next year, and I am hoping that next year, 2020, is going to be a shootout between Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari. That would be awesome if we had a good season next year rather than McLaren and Mercedes romping away with it. Alrighty, so the last race of the season is this weekend, November 29th to October 1st, Abu Dhabi Formula 1 Grand Prix. The Grand Prix after, in fact, the Formula 1 in Schools competition. If you don't know anything about it, look it up. Formula 1 in Schools, very, very cool. It's school kids, high school kids, who are building miniature Formula 1 cars, racing them down a 20-meter track. It's amazing. It's a super STEM competition. Check it out. If you want to make changes to your team, qualification is at 5 p.m. Saturday, November 30, so the day this is being uploaded or thereabouts. Check your local time zone for when quali is actually for you. Your changes need to be in by quali, otherwise they don't count for this race. It's the last race, so you want them to count. If you want to join the league for the last race, check the description. The code will be in there, fantasy.formula1.com. Join the league. One last race, get your name in lights, super team, and we'll see how we go from there. But I'll be back for one more video after this race, just to wrap up the season as a whole. What did we do? Where did we go well? Where did we go wrong? All that kind of stuff. And other videos hopefully to come soon as well. Joining a new Minecraft server. If you like Minecraft, you can check back. I've got Overland, the game's come out. I'm going to play another playthrough of that. You can wait and check that one out too. And of course, next season we will be back for Fantasy Formula 1, because I enjoy Formula 1. That's all. Hopefully you will be back as well. Thank you very, very much for watching. Until next time, see you later, alligators.